everybody, and welcome back to Lost Judgment, where will and most likely be very confusing for the next few episodes in some ways, because at this point, even though I am still uploading these videos the way I want to, I did not get to play it the way that I want to. The game is beaten. I beat the game. Reason being, I had not done the side missions in a good amount of time, so I ended up at the final part of the game when I kind of trusted for the Yakuza games to not completely lock me out of a whole city and not also lock me out because of a time, because, Judgment literally let you change the day, like from day to dusk to night. It just basically I got screwed over and I had to finish the game to come back to do these side stories. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm here to come finish the side stories that we left behind. But of course, I had to beat the game first, and so I did. I recorded all that, so you have my, stuff of that I'm going to upload after I've recorded these. So when we are recording the final videos, you're going to hear me probably complaining that I haven't finished the side stories, even though the videos before the final episodes is going to be these videos. So, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of weird complaints you're going to hear, but that's just because I didn't get to actually play it the way I wanted to play it. But I'm still uploading it the way I wanted to play it, which was finishing all the side stuff before finishing the game. Anyway, let's do just that. I literally only have like 2 side stories left. And this is the big one.
Yagami-san.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well then, let's head back on each incident the MRC's investigated so we can hopefully gain a better perspective. Oh my god, I gotta do the whole thing? I must always put everyone involved in the press. I've just woken up, that's my only excuse. I must always put everyone involved in the professor's incidents up on the whiteboard. I should check the pictures out to make sure I have a good handle on the past. In the dance club, Micah Takanashi, or is it Takanashi? I forget. Got her sugar baby gigs through the professor's message board. This was what led us to discovering the actual site on the dark web. Students post on the site by using exclusive browser and register by using their student's ID.
In other words,
As such, we've come to the conclusion that the professor has a very advanced knowledge of computer networking and programming. That, or he's got someone on his crew with the knowledge.
now that you mention it,
As for Takanashi-san's motive for becoming a sugar baby, that was rather a unexpected development.
Yeah.
Yeah, the person who Takanashi went through all that effort for was... Kotoko Itakura. Last semester, Itakura was the chairman of the Culture Festival Committee. Takanashi was a member of that committee too. The other members got sick of Itakura's poor attitude and eventually began ignoring her. By the end of it, everyone had turned their backs on her.
yes.
That had to have been rough. At any rate, the result was a colossal failure of a culture festival, and Itakura-san hasn't been seen in class ever since. Thus, the identity of the dance club Sugar Baby was revealed, but the case didn't end there. Someone by the username of Dancing Bunny posted a request for physical assault of Norizuki-san, captain of the rival dance troupe. And the person who requested the hit turned out to be a bit of a surprise to us. The true identity of the poster who requested the attack on Norizuki is... Yeah, it was him. And then he was like, "No, I didn't want this." It was the dance club advisor, Komikado. He used Noshizono's dancing bunny account to make the request. Except, according to Sakakiba, the professor actually never granted the request, despite the generous offer from Komikado. What we can deduce from this is that the professor's motive behind his machinations are not actually monetary in nature. That does make me wonder what the professor's criteria is for selecting posts.
Hey.
I'm trying to move. The leader of Maiden Heaven, Yomasuo. He went from the disciplinary committee to a biker gang practically overnight.
Yes.
It turned out that Suo-kun's mother had forbade him from participating in motocross, so he was doing what he could to suppress the desire of his, while still having an outlet for it. Right, and the professor picked up on that jealousy, so he exploited it. By manipulating Suo through certain means, to lead him astray. I think it was the letter, wasn't it? Apparently, he was tipped off by a letter found in the community suggestion box from a Prof M. Pretty safe to say that was the professor. This was supported by the fact that the letter was dropped off directly in the community suggestion box. Since it's located on campus, I find it highly likely that the professor attends or works at our school. We mustn't forget, though, there was one more key figure in this case, an individual connected to the Neo-Keihin gang. Yeah, and that would be... It was Dan. Dan Murasaki, aka Ghost. He's the younger brother of the legendary gang founder Reiji Murasaki. Dan's goal was to rise to the top of the Jincho underworld so he could step out from his brother's shadow and make a name for himself. Koga, the Neo-Keihin gang's leader, took notice of him and used his ambition for their own gain. They were trying to make up for their lack of heavy hitters by making Dan Murasaki the rep of Maiden Heaven and recruiting him to the Neo-Keihin gang.
Now that you mention it.
This Koga must have really wanted to win the professor's favor, given how he thought of this as sort of offering to the professor. The Robotic Club. I noticed around there after reports of robotic purses in the city. What? I've never seen that word. As a result, we discovered that the thieving robot's designer was... Ew. Kurumasuke-kun. To be honest, I had suspected Okitagawa-kun. It's a shame I misjudged the truth. Luckily, we were able to get our hands on something juicy at the lab. A key piece of evidence that points towards the professor's motive behind instigating all this criminal behavior. Was it this one? That would be the copies of the email correspondence with the professor, which we found on the lab's laptop. The professor was explicitly plotting with the Neo-Keihin gang to turn Kurumasuke-kun and 7 other specific students to the wrong side of the law.
In other words...
So 8 students total. We still don't know why he chose them, but I believe finding that out will be key to discovering the professor's identity.
Suspicious.
Emily S. Mochizuki, popular employee of Girls Bar, Girls Fight. Kizuna Asihara, a 3rd year at Serio, lied about his age and frequently visited her along with members of the Neo-Keihin gang. Asihara-kun supposedly joined the Neo-Keihin gang thanks to his senpai. Yeah. That was the unique part of this case. Asihara had no contact whatsoever with the professor.
Wait a minute.
In other words, he wasn't one of the professor's targets for delinquency. However, Asihara-kun happened to overhear some key info about the professor while he was at the Neo-Keihin gang's hideout. Yeah, when Koga hung up after a certain phone call, he muttered something to himself. That brat. Supposedly that's what Asihara heard Koga say. The fact that he said brat must mean the professor's quite younger than Koga. He most likely is around 40, so we can expect the professor to be in his teens, maybe early 20s.
What the?
Kohaka Hayakawa, a female student in the board game club. She started going to an underground casino from here in town looking for thrills. Since minors aren't usually allowed in casinos, Hayakawa got access by borrowing her brother's membership card. She even impersonated her brother whenever she went to gamble. In the end, though, we learned she had nothing to do with the professor.
Excuse me.
Since her case won't contribute anything to her work on the professor, I'll go ahead and exclude it from our list. That's how you know she was just a big waste of time.
Suspicious.
Genya Sanbonmatsu, the head of Serio High's esports club. He cheated in competitions with a tool-assisted joystick. He seems to have acquired the program in his joystick from the professor, and it's apparently too advanced for any normal high school student to have developed it.
In other words,
Which would mean the professor has unusually high technical skills. Kanto Haikawa, former president of the photography club. He'd been blackmailing Saiga-sensei to save up for his college tuition. Thanks to the professor's website, Haikawa-kun found out Saiga-sensei was having an affair. The professor supposedly reached out to Haikawa-kun to make first contact rather than vice versa.
in other words,
Which means Haikawa was one of the professor's targets. Shikishima, leader of the Ujincho Hounds, a local skateboarding community. He's also the culprit responsible for drawing the graffiti art that suddenly appeared on the walls of Serio. The professor just so happened to be the motif of that graffiti. Shikishima received a direct request from the professor via the website's private messaging system. That was what led him to tag the school. Graffiti's the perfect blend of crime and art.
Suspicious.
The Todoroki Boxing Gym. This is the payback boxer case. Some masked kid kept picking fights with martial arts experts and other rough and tumble types out in the streets. And in the end, we figured out who he really was. Kento-kun was the payback boxer.
Yagami-san.
Wait, Yagami-san, you're referring to the copycat instance, aren't you? I had to get one wrong, and this was the funny time to do it. Kento tried to divert the suspicion away from Oshikari-kun by disguising himself as the payback boxer twice, actually.
No way.
What a pain that was, huh?
I'm sorry.
I must apologize for my younger brother. But that being said, Yagami-san, you still need to identify the true payback boxer. It was Kenya Oshikari. He's a former karate club member who turned out to be the wonder kind at the Todoroki's gym. In fact, we even have evidence of Oshikari's motive. It's Oshikiri, not Oshikari. Damn it. This is his motive. Well, I mean, that is kind of his motive. Seeing his father around is his motive. This time it's just me being dumb, I guess. This, right? You don't sound all that confident. Not confident at all, being honest.
Excuse me.
Oshikiri only entered the Genbukai to try and overcome his fear of his father, Fudo. Problem is, he found out that all his fights were fixed in his favor. His champion status was a setup for the showrunners to line their pockets.
In other words,
and he learned it from the professor, who sent him all the evidence he needed to see the truth for himself.
Which means...
Which leads us to the question, why would the professor reveal his own hand like that?
In other words...
Had this news of match fixing leaked to the public, people would stop betting. The Genbukai racket would be done for. We can at least assume that money is not the
if I
motive.
have this right.
Looks like the professor's motive is a major key to solving this case. Alright, we've gone through all the information we have so far. The biggest thing we still don't know is the professor's motive behind selecting those 8 specific students to lead astray. Out of the 8, we know one person for absolute certain. Guru Mazuki-kun in the robotics club.
Yes.
Correct. Now, if we include the 6 individuals who we know were directly approached by the professor,
In other words...
we're up to 7. One more person left.
Which means...
Assuming our theory is correct, There should be one student remaining who was led astray by the professor. It's gonna be the biggest plot twist. It was Amasawa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who could it be? Maybe the student's actually been involved in illegal activity this whole time. We just haven't caught wind of it yet?
Yes.
Perhaps you're right. We must figure out who this last individual is as soon as possible. From Kento? Don't tell me her
Kento.
brother, is it? What is it, Kento? Oh, sis. Thank God. Where are you right now? At HQ with Yagami-san. Yagami-san's with you? Perfect. I'm actually at the Ponpo in front of the station right now. I got a bit of a situation.
Hey.
What's wrong? Well,
Hey, you old bastard!
oh, crap. Kento? Sorry, call you right back.
Hey!
What was that? Everything alright?
No.
I'm not sure, but it sounds like Kento's in some kind of trouble. It's not good. Where is he? He said he's at the Popo in front of the station. Come on, let's go. Oh, okay.
That way?
Yes, this way.
Again! Keep going!
What, you haven't even gone that far. That's what happens when you just sit in the mystery club room and just read books. Getting a game over feels bad, but when you get all your health back immediately in the fight in your heat actions, who cares? It's not like you're playing on Legend, right? Right? You fucker.
I'm coming
Alright.
with you!
Yeah, I know that. You know, I really need to try and go and finish Final Fantasy 15 when I finish this. Only problem with that, I have to still finish the comrade stuff. I mean, I could just leave the comrade shit alone and just finish the game. But I'm really close to finishing comrades, that's my problem. I gotta continue Mass Effect 2. Yeah. What's the date today? It's only the 20th. 20 more days till Christmas.
Yagami-san.
I'll ask the clerk inside. I'll scope out the area. Amasawa, isn't that bag?
Huh.
It's Kento's. The wallet I gave him for his birthday is inside.
Seriously?
No way. I'll ask the clerk what happened. You stay here.
Yes.
Okay. I see. So, no idea where you went?
Yagami-san!
What happened to Kento? Apparently he was here with a woman in her late 30s who was dressed, amorously. An older woman? They both got dragged into a black car by some guys who looked like Yakuza. They just took off.
No way!
Yagami-san, do you think it was the Neo Keihin gang? Maybe they grabbed him because we were getting closer to the professor. It's hard to say. Whatever the reason, we need to find Kento-kun. If only we could figure out where they took him.
What should I do?
Kento, where did you go? Yagami-san, can you think of some way to find my brother? The only clues he left behind are the bag and the wallet he dropped. Actually, I think we can put those to use. How? Let's just say a good detective always has the tool for the job. And this particular tool has a nose of its own. Huh?
I believe in you, buddy. Who's a good boy? All right, let's go.
Oh, you know where he went?
I see.
Ronpo! How could I forget about him? Alright, Ronpo, this is your time to shine.
Doing great.
Oh,
I should
you're
follow
all
him
good?
right now. Seems like he knows the way. I remember the days
something?
we had to have chill walks together, Ronpo. Seems like such a long time ago now, and I'm almost finished with the game.
Doing great.
We should probably start running.
This way, huh?
They got in the car, so you think they would have driven off pretty far. But would they actually make you run halfway across Eugene-cho with a dog when you're running at not even a quarter speed?
Got something?
I'm expecting the boss fight at the end of this to be good, by the way. Kento-kun should be somewhere around here. What is this place? Let go of me, you bastard! That's Kento's voice! Guess now's not the time to mess with the intercom. Of course, that woman was the trick. Kento-kun!
Yagami-san!
Yagami-san? The fuck do you want? Right, like telling you is gonna change how this goes. I'll take every single one of you on. Bring it. What in the... What's this guy's deal? Let's just kill his ass. What? You did not just do that. Ow. Bitch. What? Come here. Get down. And now you, your turn. Get over there.
I'm not even warmed up yet.
You get taunted to death. You just... There, finally.
Kento-kun?
Kento-kun, are you alright? Yagami-san, I'm sorry. Let's get out of here.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, sis.
Hey!
Apologies are appreciated, but they aren't explanations. Now explain yourself.
So, actually,
She was my sugar mama.
What was that?
I'm sorry, your what?
so,
Well, if a lady wants to date a younger guy and she's willing to spend the money... Yeah, no, I get it. Opposite of sugar daddy. That's, not what I meant. It turns out she's also seeing this guy who's kinda... in the Yakuza. You little idiot!
Hey.
How did you meet her in the first place? Well, I, used the professor's site.
Huh?
What?
What?
You've been posting there? In that horrible place?
sorry.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really sorry.
What?
I can't believe you. All while we were chasing after the professor. Kento-kun, how long have you been doing this? For, like, 2 months now? I started pretty soon after I first heard about the site from a friend. I was just reading the site and posting for fun, nothing serious. Then one day I got a DM from the professor. It said, I'm well aware of your looks and social skills. You could make some serious spending money doing this. And had a little job description after that.
No way.
So you got the idea the professor whispered in your ear.
Now that you mention it.
Yagami-san, the professor's goal is to make 8 students become delinquent in some way or another, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty sure we know who 7 of them are.
Which means...
Well, perhaps that last student is actually Kento.
I guess so.
You know, could be. You just have a photo of your brother? Me?
Yeah.
Yep. And just like that, we have our 8.
Hey.
Well, Masala, now that we've got a full list, we can finally work out the professor's motive.
Yes.
I think we finally are ready for some serious sleuthing. Firstly, the professor's motive isn't monetary. So what other motives could we possibly theorize? Let's see, for money, for love, for revenge, there are plenty of potential reasons. Yeah, that's true.
Masawa.
Say, Hamasawa, what do you think would have happened if we weren't there to set those kids straight? What would have happened? Well, they obviously would have continued their delinquent behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's safe to say. But it's also very likely that they would have been caught eventually. Every time a crime is repeated, the risk of discovery increases. In all the cases we looked into, the police would have caught the kids eventually, if they took the investigation seriously enough. I suppose that's true.
Which means...
Oh, so in other words,
Yeah.
we can predict the outcome the professor was hoping for. There's a good chance they would have gotten caught and punished for their crimes in some way. Yeah, that seems to be the most natural outcome. Most likely sent to an institution of some sort, expelled from school, and possibly even turned into a criminal case. Oh, what if that was the goal? Oh,
In other words...
you're saying the professor's goal was to get those students out of Serio by getting them in enough trouble to be expelled or incarcerated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just a theory for now.
I see.
But it does make quite a lot of sense in this scenario.
Masawa.
Let's see if this line of thought leads us to the professor's identity. We can move on if not. So, what do the 8 people on our list have in common? What indeed? What was the professor's criteria for selecting these students? Hang on. These are... What is it? Nah, it's just a coincidence, right?
Kento-kun.
Notice something, Kento-kun?
No.
Well, you were talking about what they might have in common, so I just give it a thought, and, there's no way I'm right. I'm terrible at this detective stuff, you know? I'm gonna take a drink of water.
Hey,
Kento, just tell us.
So,
Well, all 8 students
so actually,
were on the Culture Festival Committee.
What was that?
They were what?
Kento!
Are you sure? Yeah, there should be a picture somewhere. Found it. Here. See? All 8 of us.
Really?
It can't be.